I know some of you guys do this, and I know some of you guys don't. And this isn't going to be about the moral persecution over using drum samples or not. Um, I pretty much tend to recreate my drum mixes on every album. I know I should use templates. I do have a recording template, but it has really nothing to do with the mixing. And the real pain is a trigger one because I never do it the same, and I really need to. Um, so I was working on, I guess it is an album, it's 9 songs, song last week where I ended up using samples in a way. First of all, I was trying to use some of Bobby Huff's drum samples. If you listen to these,
But you
let me
don't
see.
want that
Hold on.
to without it affecting any other dry signal, any other room
Let's see.
one,
Let me hear these real quick.
or any other room two. That's a ton of versatility.
Sorry. Let me find.
All right, you guys.
Maybe
So it
I'll
would
play
take
it
a
here.
ton of time and a ton of money to get these kind of sounds in a studio.
All right, come on.
So I've gotten these kind of sounds in the studio. These are my sounds, but it's important to get them at home. Play it for you.
Okay, so if those sound familiar, whenever you hear these like big name mixing engineers, producers lie about and I'm doing scare quotes here, using a sample to drive the reverb. They're full of crap. Most of the time, they're full of crap. They're using these samples. It's old Linn drum samples, I think. Pretty sure that's what they are. I have a trigger library I bought from that sound. It's called like 1985, and it's got kind of that mixed with the big bottom kick and snare from the 80s. Um, anyway, that's what these are, and I was using them in addition to the real drum sounds on a song last week. Let me play a little bit of it.
See me drowning, and you hold out your hand.
I was also using Jacob Hansen's samples that he's got for sale now. Now, this is the engineer that records um, one of my absolute favorite bands. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce them, but Amaranth. And this are his samples right here. And if you listen to that kind of music, it's not the drums. They hit hard and stuff, but they don't have quite the impact of the stuff that I really liked. But they really do sound good. So I kind of on this one I was kind of using this so you can hear the Jake Hansen's snare, and I'm kind of distorting it a little bit. Hear a lot of the trap. So I'm probably gonna do something a little bit different with these other ones. So, what I was using the Dr. Bob sample for, if you check it out, I'm really just using the rooms, but I like what they do. And you can hear there's a lot of the dry sound in that room. There's a lot of the snap still in there, so I almost don't want to. In fact, let me show you how this sounds. Okay. So that's the dry sound. So it doesn't sound 100% wet to me, right? That sounds like. Now, to me, that's a really powerful reverb. I would want to put that in its own thing, so I could use a compressor to maybe knock off the front of it. I have a feeling that I'm going to be using Chris Lord-Alge's Tom's snare samples and stuff instead. Though I think I can get a little bit more impact out of them. I used to use that number 10 snare from slate back in the day, and it worked out pretty good. But let's I was thinking I was gonna pull some tracks out of here to make a template, but let's do something different here. And I want to treat the triggering track different than I used to. I'm not sure that I'm going to use any of the real one in there, but I'll make a separate one. So let's I made some macros that make item muting a little bit easier. So even if you have to still move around stuff in time, it's not going to hurt anything. The way slicing up and cutting up an item, a series of items would. So let me, first of all, I'm gonna save this as a new March 14th. It's 2 hours. It's been a little while. March 14th. What is it? April. Now I think, yeah, you see I have a lot of stretching going on. I should render these tracks. So I'm going to get rid of, I had some trigger tracks. I'm going to get rid of these. Not sure what this is. I'll deal with this in a little bit. These are probably tracks I was using to make a trigger. Arms are all there. So what I think I should do is glue these first, because you can see it's running real slow because of all the stretch markers. But that's assuming I got the stretch markers right. If I don't have the stretch markers right, I'm kind of screwed if I glue these. So let me just have a listen real quick. Okay, you can tell up there that's going to be a problem, right? You know what? I don't think I'm going to use the real kick sound in here, but I'm going to do something here. The way I'm going to send these is I'm going to put all the triggers on their own tracks, because I'm going to use several of them, and yeah, I may use several of them. We'll see what I'm going to do. But I don't think I'm going to use the real kick sound because of what you hear there at the double kick part at the end there. So there's a couple different ways to go about this. Oh, okay. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to glue this. That will greatly speed up editing and everything. Right now it's kind of really sticky. So I have a Control-Shift-G on my macro. Does well, I don't know why I'm saying consolidating. That should be glue. Ooh. Okay, well, we'll see what they do here. Yeah, I love how fast this computer is. Terrifying. So this is just cementing in place all the stretch markers I've put in here. Oh, that went quick. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do that same thing for this, the second song here. Now, I'm going to show you something that, actually Kenny G helped me out, in the Reaper chat. He told me that I could make a shortcut to my little snare blipper, and I'll show you that in a second. Or not snare blipper. It's, I'm using a snare to do it. It's just a sound I'm using to trigger things. So as soon as this gluing is done, so this should really clean up these editing problems I'm having. And I'm going to crop the project to this time selection because I don't need all this junk at the end, and there's a lot of inconsequential stuff. I'm trying to remember where that is. Crop project to time selection. Okay, so I'm just going to run that. Bam. Okay, goodbye. All right. Now, look at that. Zip, 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 zip. When I roll this thing, it's just flying now. Okay, so good. I'm going to move this kick back here. And notice I have a mute envelope on here. I must have been putting in every kick by hand on here, and that is a pain in the butt. I'll deal with that later. Right now, I'm going to clear this envelope. And I'm going to clear this one. If I have any more mute envelopes, I want to clear them all. Okay. I'll get rid of this track for now. Let me show you these. What is it? Is it Q? What am I using for this? Shoot, I forget. Find shortcut Q. Mute item selections at the time. So I'm just going to use the Q button. When I do it, I'm just going to show you real quick. Made a time selection on an item, on a selected item. I'm going to hit Q. Now I've got a mute point, right? So I can clear that up. That's what I'm going to be using to send to the triggers. Hey, Tom. So I'm going to probably want to, Kenny Gioia, that Kenny G. Because I'm probably going to make a template out of this later, I am going to do this properly. So I'm going to call this track, I'm going to duplicate this track, and I'm going to call this kick 4 trigger. So just in case I really still wanted to use the regular kick track, it's right there. I'm going to mute it on this case, though. And what this guy's going to be, it's going to route to... I'm going to delete everything. Oh, so it's going to base right now to do a ducking sidechain trick, but I'm going to delete that. What this is really going to do is it's just going to send to the different triggers that I'm using. So I'm going to do... Let's just start with the kick. Okay, so we're going to do it that way. Before I do that, let me show you one thing that Kenny showed me today. And that is, I'm going to go to View, Media Explorer. Is that what it's called? Media Explorer. And if you look, I have a shortcut called Drum Triggers. And in there is just this tiny little snare sound. I'm pretty sure it's another Lin Jum snare. Let me, I'll put in a wave of sort real quick. Or actually, you can, let me see if I can I do that? Yeah. So I just drag and drop that in wave of sort. Doesn't sound like anything. This is just being used to fire the trigger. Or if I was one of these, this producers we're talking about that you always see on the videos, this is the sound they use to drive the snare reverb. No, it's not. They're using these samples. You're hearing the samples. Unless they're driving the snare reverb 0% wet, then I guess that would be accurate. But it always cracks me up when I hear that because I know they're lying. It's just, come on, guys. So I'm going to drop this onto this track. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to make a daughter track or child track or whatever you call it for this. And then I'm just going to put a kick blipper, right, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to drop this sample into there. Now this first one, it's not going to actually be in use. And you know what? I might have made this too skinny because this is so small. It's hard to grab. but I'm going to put this at the beginning of the track, so in case I need it later on. All this thing's going to do is just be used to force a trigger. I really wish I could come up with a script, and I'm sure there's a way to do it. A script that will let me just paste this item at the in fact, if I copied it and I just did like, Control V, there you go. That might be the way to go. Just copy it when it's there. I don't really want to leave the Media Explorer open. I'd love to have something hiding there that I could just macro out and just place. So I'm gonna lose this for now. So in case if I'm having trouble with the trigger, like if it doesn't want to trigger, I'll use this to force the trigger. Okay, so now we're gonna, I could put them in here or I could put them in their own folder. I'm not really sure if I should put them in the bus with the actual snares or what. Yeah, I mean, these are Lindrum samples, that's what's the funny part, is these things are ancient, man, but they still work. So I'm not really sure how I want to do this part yet, but what I'm going to do is add some triggers. I might just make a kick bus. Why don't I do that? The trouble is, I don't like having lots of tracks to mix. I always see these people with 5 billion tracks out there. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about having that stuff. And this is going to add so many tracks to it that I really don't want. But let me just, I'm going to add some here. Let's see. Let's start with 2. Okay, so I'm going to call this kick CLA, and this is going to be kick Dr. Bob dry. So I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm probably not going to need them both, but Dr. Bob. And there's really 2 different reverbs. I could make 3 different tracks. I don't know if I need that many. It's probably going to annoy the hell out of me. I don't know how many. It's just amazing how powerful computers are. I can actually get away with running a lot of this stuff. Do I want to do reverb 1 and reverb 2 separately? I don't think so. I'm just going to do the reverb for now. Okay, so I'm going to route these a certain way. Route to these 3 guys. And I'm going to make it so that it's, well, why? Okay. I'm going to make this, pre-effect. So it's not going to get affected by the volume at all. Or anything I decide to do that track, if I do want that track to live. But really, I'd use this other track. This one's just going to be for the triggers, so I could clean it up if I need to. Okay, so these are all pre-volume, pre-pan, so it won't matter what I do with this volume knob. So for now, I'm just going to knock it down. And if I do need to hear it in order to confirm something, I can just bring that volume back up. Okay. It's probably going to... Yeah, let's see. There's Tom. I think Tom wants to go. Hey, Tom. No, I don't hear you. Why don't I hear you? I see you talking, but I don't hear you. All right. Let me put the first trigger in here. So I'm using slate trigger, which I do and don't like. And for this, I want to do the CLA. Do I have the actual presets for that? That's the question. Andy Sneap drums, where are you? Where are my... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where are my CLA samples? Those things were not cheap. see, do I not have them installed in this thing? Let me check. I know I have them because they're in my SSD for sure. Try this again. All right, you got your mic now? Nope. I don't know what that's about. Damn. SSD Platinum. I really want to use my CLA samples. Let me see where I stuck them. They should be in my studio resources. Drum samples. No, where are you? I might have to re-download these. I know I own them. Hold on, let me make sure I actually own them for this one. Who knows? The licensing might have gone screwy or whatever. Let's go to Steven Slate drums real fast. Go to my. Let's see if we can find where it should be looking. Studio folder, resources, drum samples. Yeah, I know they're here somewhere. Let me go to my account. SSD4. Chris Lord Alga expansion pack trigger. Okay, so it's somewhere. Where is it? Do I really want to download the installer? 89 megs. Is that it? Okay, I can do that. Isn't that crazy to think about nowadays? 89 megs, no big deal. Oh man, it's using one of these stupid ecosystem things. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this. This stuff drives me bonkers, man. I understand that for some plug-in companies or whatever, it's really good to have this stuff. But look what this is, a Steven Slate Audio Center thing. So instead of just letting me download the product I buy, I got to download this ecosystem, which I probably have 400 times already. Let's see. So it's showing me what I got. Here's my trigger, Platinum expansions. Hey, at least I remembered my name, unlike so many of these things. Here too, Chris Lord Algae. Okay, that one I want. I think I have others though, don't I? Okay, hold on. Let me turn off my DAW. Hopefully it's not going to make trouble in OBS, but let's see. Agree. Okay. Path to trigger to library folder. Okay, so I want to put this someplace else. See, I probably already have this on my setup, but I want to try and put it in my Dropbox so I can get to this anywhere. Dropbox, resources, drum samples. Okay. So let's try. Okay, so it wasn't 89 megabytes. The Steven Slate Audio Center thing was 89 megabytes. So this is going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to take a second. Let's see if I can't get Tom's mic working here. All right. I messed with Slate and went with Addictive Triggers. Yeah, Addictive Trigger has a crazy accurate way of doing things. Paid for Slate and used Addictive Triggers because Slate was so hard in the downloading part. Yeah. Addictive has been pretty good about that stuff, but there's a couple things that I didn't like about their trigger one, but if you're looking for the most accurate trigger, I think Addictive is probably going to win there. All right, well, this sucks. This is seriously like watching paint dry here. You know, the sad part is I'm sure I have these installed someplace. Wherever the default location is, I bet it's right there. Let me take a look. I might be able to save some time here. Files. See if I got Steven Slate. Steven Slate Audio Center. Resources. No. me see if it's in trigger. No. I'm not sure where it wanted to put it in the first place. So I don't know if everybody heard the news. Allegedly, let's actually let's test this. Hold on. Allegedly, so if anybody hasn't seen this yet, it's from the forum at Harrison Consoles. I'm going to go to SSL's webpage. U.S. leading console brand Harrison joins solid state logic. So what is this going to mean to Harrison Mixbus? Are we going to see an SSL console made by actually the same guy who ended up doing the wasn't it Ardor? That's who built it, right? Was this guy? Just funny. So I didn't know. You know, I spent years working with this guy on before Ardor even. Like there's some earlier stuff. You didn't realize that this is one of the guys who started Amazon. It's like one of 3 guys or whatever. And he left, I think, for moral reasons. It's interesting. Yeah, Paul Davis. Let's see. Yeah, one of the first 2 programmers at Amazon.com. That's just crazy. And yeah, this is an amazing developer here. But so what's going on here? So Solid State Logic announces their acquisition of U.S. pro audio console and music production software manufacturer Harrison. Since 1975, Harrison has been one of the blah, 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 bringing first inline console to market. Let's see if they actually talk about what's going on with the DAW stuff. There's a strong synergy with their software solutions that align well with our own plugin business. Like SSL, Harrison has utilized their console heritage and know-how to create a range of plugins and the Mixbus DAW. Plus, they have developed audio processing in the cloud. So we have here? Isn't it one of them like Pink Floyd guys or something that owns SSL now? Peter Gabriel, right? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if what exactly happens out of this. Okay, oh, got an error. Operation not permitted. Great. Do I have to start that all again? All right, let's try this again. Well, that sucks. I'm gonna just end up copying this over then. Sorry, if I can find it. So let me try this again. So where would this go? Reinstall. Let me see if this actually showed up or it's supposed to show up. So I have no idea where Trigger's resources should have gone. Let me look in. See, this is the thing, ergonomics, man. This always stops me from working when I gotta go mess around with some kind of something or other. Drum samples. So CLA kick, CLA snare, CLA toms, CLA core presets. I don't know. It looks like it installed. I'm gonna fire this up and let's just check and see if this actually installed. It's saying it didn't, but who knows? We'll find out. All right, so let's see what we got here. Kick. Whoa, where did my... Oh, did I not save that stuff? Oh, bummer. So I saved that. All right, you got a mic now? Nope. Oh, shoot. I guess I can recreate this real quick. Unless it's in a backup file. Hold on. Let me see if it's on a backup. January, February, March, April. Okay. 411, 1150. That might have been the right time. Let's see if it actually shows up. That's 10 minutes ago. I don't think it's been 10 minutes, though. We'll find out. It's a nice thing about Reaper, right? Every 5 minutes, you're saving. I mean, you can set it for any interval you want. Okay, so this looks more like it. There we go. Okay, so let me resave this as the proper one. Yep. Okay, so now when I go to this browser, let's see if we got a CLA kick preset. Okay, so this is the instruments. CLA core presets. It's a kick. I'm just going to pick the first one. I don't really know the difference in these things, so let's listen to this. Okay. I'm just going to put the kick bus solo and see how this sounds. I might change the curves a little bit. You know, in real life, you probably wouldn't have it that dynamic. But that's really what the drummer played, so it's kind of cool. So let me do another trigger setup. Do the dry. Actually, let me show you something really cool. So here's a 1985. That sound 1985. Drums. Do they have presets? Those are wave files. Okay. Why do I have wave files? Did I make? Oh yeah, here we go. So you see the different. Here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put these all in here. Tight, natural, dry, big. And they have other ones. So there's the AMS reverbs. There's like some kind of pitch shifting going on Def Leppard style here.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's a mic.
There we go. There we go.
See, this is a lot of different sounds you could use right here. So I could call this a different track. Let me duplicate that. So this is going to be kick 1985 dry. So I'm not, one of these days I'm going to read and see exactly which ones are which, because that seems to include that, but again, that sounds kind of Lindrummy. All right, so this is gonna, let me go to the Dr. Bob. It's gonna be the dry one. Slot. Might even have a preset of this. Hold on, let me check. Dr. Bob, kick all. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna, this one's just gonna be the dry one. Let me look, see if I have the curves changed here. That looks stock. Okay. think the 1985 stuff's way better actually than this, but I'll leave this for now. So I'm gonna mute these two. That's gonna be kick dry. Call that all. And this one, I'm gonna make that same trigger setup, but this one I'm gonna put I'm gonna mute the dry, and I'm gonna leave the two reverbs up. And there's things I can do with the compressor and the reverb to really fix things up with that one. Let's listen to how that one sounds though. So there's something kind of crunchy and weird there. Here's 1985. So you can't really leave all these on.
So good with the Lindrum was that you almost actually played it like a drum when we recorded it. There was none of that, like always running into something that stops the creative flow thing.
I don't know if I need this at all, really. I'm gonna mute this one. Yeah, you know, you had those early Lindrum programmable pattern things. So I think it was like a Nintendo cartridge, like, or that was later on. That's like the Wendell or whatever. I remember people bringing in beats on little cartridge things. The CLA kick should actually work pretty good.
Actually, the Wendell came just a little after the Lindrum, and you could use it live, like to get that Lindrum.
Why is this volume not work?
Are you getting a delay there, Aaron?
Not really. Ooh, look at that. Add some bass to that thing. I really need any of that. Let me try the reverb one. Pretty sure I can just turn up CLA room. Pretty short though. In reality, I probably changed the dynamic response. In fact, let me do that now. So I might not use any of this other stuff, really. I might just use this. So I'm going to do dynamics, velocity, and range. I'll lock these all together. Change the dynamics to... these both at 75.
Yeah, you know, I got one of those Elisa's B15 or 12 keyboard things that has both the pads and like 2 octaves of keys.
That's handy.
Just play the drums, you know, lay them the 1 and 3 on the Lindrum, and like a 1, 2, 3, 4 on a click, which you can delay with the delay of with quarter. Then you can make that 832s dotted whatever you want and get the feel, and then you actually lay in the rest of the drums. Just play over the Lindrums and erase them, you know, where they're on the Lindrums, and it comes out so much better. And it's like actually you're in the process of creating, not this and why won't it load that?
What was that? Why does this thing beep every time you join? I gotta turn that off.
I won't talk too much. I'm loading up Mixbus. I'm going to put addicted triggers up.
Oh, cool. There's not that much impact on this CLA kick. Let me try the Dr. Bob dry thing. Some audio settings there. That's one way to do that, but if I could get everything on the CLA kick, I might probably actually be happier. Probably gonna want to use this real snare, but make another one. Trigger, and again, you're gonna send that to a bunch of tracks. Let's see, CLA snare, 1985 snare. I really don't think I need to use that dry Lindrum.
What's Reaper? AU or what kind of plugins does that run?
Audio units and VST.
Okay.
And Clap, the new one, the CL Clap format.
Okay. You know, Aaron, another problem, it seems to me, as I'm loading this up, is there's so much information in that it takes so long to load up. Just give me 5 good snares and 5 good kicks.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see, the 1985 snare. They got ones from like Madonna, Material Girl, and Huey Lewis. Let's see, let me find this real quick. 1985 snare. So there's the Huey and Born in the USA. That's the one I want. So I want dry, natural, big, EMS1, and EMS2. Now this is something else. When I played the big one, that's the sound. This boom, man. Yes. That's
Aaron, you got a harmonizer 910?
Yeah, I got the that's what that AMS thing is there for, is to do the old Def Leppard 910 trick.
Yeah.
On the snare. Yeah. That's why those samples are already there to do that. Let's see about this Dr. Bob reverb thing real quick. For the snare. The snare one should be pretty big. I think I already have it on here. Dr. Bob. Where's the snare?
Sorry.
Okay, those are a little bit sharper sounding, so let me leave those on. So again, this one's got, I'm going to turn this all the way down. Then I'm going to route these. pre-effects. Because this one, I'm just going to use mute envelopes for when it makes trouble. Okay, so this should be... Let's see how this snare goes.
Sorry.
Why is that not working? Yes, here's a problem. Well, I want all these detail knobs locked together on all the triggers. So instead of doing that, I can actually just send more volume to them, which might be the way to go.
Check 1, 2, 3, 1.
Oh, why does that thing keep cutting out?
Check 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's sounds like a sample rate thing on one program that's different than another. Sample rate match. Okay, how about
What's your
this?
sample rate?
That's not me. That's on you. Like you got one sample rate doing one thing, and then your mic is picking up at something else.
Okay.
So it's making that stuck buffer noise. Okay, so check this out. This should not be happening. So I'm going to put these up side by side.
Check.
One of these is triggering and one of these is not. Or actually, wait, they both are now. Only one is showing. One is showing on the meter. Why is that? It's interesting. Look at this. So 1985 snare has got no output. Oh, because I have everybody muted. Okay, here we go. Okay, so either I can turn the detail down or I can turn this up more. I could probably do it from the item volume, but that's probably a bad idea. Let me just turn these guys up more. But I can't lock together. And if it's too big, I really should be using the detail knob for these. But I guess that's why you'd want to do this ahead of time. Let me just do all this the same. 8. Hopefully this works. So if it's still missing, yeah, still some missing. Could turn down the detail a little bit. I can turn up the input volume a little bit. Let's try read the volume for each of these. Nice if you could do an all instance volume change. That would make this a lot easier. Let me do a CLA snare real quick since I'm already here. And which snare do I want? I'll just take the first one. CLA Core presets, rock snare. Okay. Now this seems to be using samples at the bottom of the range. I'm gonna have to turn the detail down even though I didn't really want to. still a couple that are gonna slip through, but probably rather do those by hand. I'll change these all to 30. PLA snare just doesn't seem that impactful to me.
How come mine's grooving and yours isn't?
What?
Now that last one you did groove, man.
Oh.
You want to hear the addictive drum sound?
You can try. I'm not sure how you pipe it through there, but try it. See what happens. I almost want to put some Steven Slate, just a regular like number 10. Snare's just too thin. I'll try a different one.
Can you hear that?
No. In fact, you're probably running into what we talk about on this show all the time, is how hard it is to move audio from one app to another on the computer. I don't mind that one that much. That's preset 3. Ooh.
Your drum sounds a little small there, Aaron.
That's just the reverb one.
That's better.
Here's where triggers always fall apart, sound fake on the roll. But just because they're not using enough samples, or That sounds hokey as hell, but really that's just supposed to be for reverb. So check the.
I was just saying the drums sounding really good here, Aaron.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, that'll mess it up. Look, I had the compressor before the trigger. There we go. There's my gunshots.
Woo-hoo.
So all that is this reverb sound with the beginning just knocked out for the first like 56 milliseconds. I might actually do this longer. Pretty high compressor, but the very beginning of the snare hit on the reverb sound is being ducked out by the compressor. If I let like 5, I could add some real presence to it, but that's probably just gonna make everything click. Thing that I made here. Maybe some problem kicks. There's one. Okay, what I really want is a macro where I click up here and then it pastes on the track below. See if I can do that. Hold on, let's see. How would we do this? Let's just create a new one. Let's call this trigger paste. Okay, so I want paste. Insert time on tracks and paste item. Paste items, tracks. Paste items, tracks, and mouse position. I think that's it. Let's test that real quick. Let's give this a key. What would I do? Want something up in the side there. I'm already using so much of. What do I have on T? Is there anything for T? Oh yeah, take. Okay, I don't want that. So Shift T is not going to be. What about Alt T? Toggle effects bypass for selected tracks. Okay, I never use that. I don't know that I want it to be a combo key though. I really just want a single button. What about P? Is P used for anything? Super zoom in. Okay, I used to use this for something, but I don't actually use this anymore. So I'm going to use P for paste. Okay, so let me make sure that works first of all. Okay, where did that paste that exactly? Okay, that might work. Okay, show action list. Find shortcut P. Trigger paste. Edit action. Okay, so I need it to jump down one track. Down track. Move items. Envelope point. Actually, that might just work just by itself. Let's try that. Okay. So I'm going to click on here. And I'm going to hit P. Why does it go forward like that, though? That's a problem. Why did that jump forward? What if I put it here? Then it goes to the right place. That goes to the right place. That goes to the right place. Why did it jump last time? Right there. Okay, so here's where it's going to get ugly. So what is this even supposed to be? This is not at all even here. That's the overheads you can hear. Let's take a look at what this really looks like in grid. So probably 16th notes. And there may be an extra one here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do 4. There's a... It's like he's trying to double them up. Let's do 16th notes real quick. Just going to do a regular paste here. Ah, see, my thing I made is too long. Thought it was short enough. Okay, let me fix that. So I really need to make a shorter thing. I know that's crazy at this point. I don't know that I can actually save this because I'm using this in the project. So let me get rid of all these. Save it now. So now when I place this in here, I gotta find that one that didn't trigger too. View Media Explorer. Oh, I just want to right click you, not. Okay, that was painful. Okay, so that guy's getting one. I could just put it on the grid, but. Okay, so here we go. So these two are together. This is the last one. These are kind of in a weird place. Like, where does this even go? Not really sure what he's trying to do here. Unless he wants it on every 16th note, which actually would probably be fine. Let's hear it. I gotta turn this down a little bit. And what is this? Is he meaning to do the same thing here, or is it really? So if I put it the way he did it, it's not going to sound very good. Really, probably all these. Seems like he's trying to do some double kick stuff in here too, but this one might actually work without it. That's actually pretty cool, but I don't think that's what he meant to do. Let's see. See here, it's almost like he meant to do that on this one too. But I don't like trying to interpret what the drummer meant to do. It's always sketchy. Turn the guitar on here and see if we got an idea what's going on. I'm just going to err on the safe side and assume that these are all going to be 16th notes for now, and later on I'll come back and clean them up. For now, it's probably just simpler. In fact, let's hear what he's playing. Sounds like that's what he's trying to do. So let me just copy these. This should work. Nothing like interpreting. When that gent stuff first came out, I had to try and interpret what in the world people were doing with all these crazy rhythms. And sometimes I guessed right. Probably not always. What is this one? This one's going to be something different. It's the same, sorry. Fatal error right here. This is what you don't want to do, is kick and a snare right on top of each other. Usually can work for some types of music, but now what I got to do while these are going on, just to be on the safe side, is to mute the track sync. Oh, but that's not going to work because I don't think. Here, let's try it. Oh, wow. I thought that this was an item mute. This is I thought this was a track mute, but it turns out this is an item mute. Let me see. else is going on. Kick just is not present enough. Let me try some of his other kicks. That sounds pretty good, but try a different one real quick. Just gonna loop this one right here. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, so kick 9, I think, but let me just try this SSD. I'm looking for the kick number 10. Here's Metallica Black back album kick. Oh man, see, that always sounds good, but I might be too hokey for this. Boring.
Yeah, please, enough of the click from Metallica. No more of that, man.
Where is?
Take quarters to the beater.
Oh, I'm looking for kick 10. It's been a while. Yeah, like that. It's just the reverb that I like. And you're not going to end up hearing the reverb, so. Yuck. Where is kick 10? There it is. Use this kick on so many records, it's ridiculous. I don't know if I want it on this. Try CLA 9 again. Sounds like it's gonna fall apart. something hokey about this snare. So I end up using, this is pathetic. So it's one that I say CLA on. I'm not using the CLA. I'm using this my kick sample that I've been using for like the past 30 years. No, 20 years. Definitely since 2001, I've been using this kick sample. There's something hokey sounding about snare. And pretty sure it's just the actual main snare sample I'm using. Let me try this. The real snare in with it. What is that? What's going on there? I know there's gonna be toms and stuff, but let me just check. So what I want to see is how this is catching here. And, you know, the flams are going to be pretty fast, but this is probably the fastest one right here. So let me measure that real quick. I'm going to make sure that I'm in seconds. And so I'm going to measure how far apart these are. It's about 50 milliseconds. So I'm going to change this retrigger to at least 35. Just in case. I don't want to have any fake flams or fake hits going on. Okay, what's there? Is there really two kicks there? That. What is that? Is that really a kick? Even if it is, I don't want it. It's too quiet. It's more like a that. Okay, so how am I going to deal with that? So again, I'm really only using that one sample. So let me, it's not so bad to change. Let's just see where that is. So I'm going to look at where that is level. And did I really need the detail that low on the kick track? Like this seems like I'm really pushing this. If I change the detail here, it's not changing it on the other things, is it? Okay, so I just changed that to 40. Where's my snare one at? I hope this isn't like changing across instances. Oh, see, that one's still at 30. Okay, so I'm going to change these all to 40 real quick. So again, I kind of like a way to have these things tied together. Well, see, that detail is different. Why? I wonder why I made that detail so short. I might have been actually messing with the snare track and hit the wrong one. That might have been what did that. Again. Okay, so there's toms going on here, and the toms are not, they're not really on the grid. And if I solo these toms, a lot of times you're gonna think these are fake, and there's nothing on these toms right now. This one's going to be really hard because that is just, I really should move these around in time till they fit, and I might actually do that. think about that. So I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing as the other things. I'm gonna put I'm gonna duplicate all these toms. First, I'm gonna get rid of what's in there. Duplicate them. This is gonna be tom 1 for trigger. Tom 2. Tom 2 for trigger. And tom 3 for triggering. Now, I don't know what if there's some 1985 samples that would really work well. So I think I'm gonna make 3 tracks again for each one of these. Sadly, I know it's a lot. This is gonna see. I'm already up to I've picked a ton of drum tracks here. Let's just add them. So I call it CLA 1985 and Dr. Bob for each of these. 1985. I may not use the 1985 stuff. I really do like the Dr. Bob stuff for these ones. But I just want the reverb, not the actual dry hit. And so I want these guys on all of them. So I may as well make the first one. And oh no, that's gonna mess me up on the routing. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just gonna do these separate. Sorry. I'm gonna change these. Should probably change this with Track Manager instead. That might be quicker. This is why when you're pricing your stuff, man, the mix prep can take piles of time. And you know, I could of course do a lot quicker with some templates. Every time I make a template, it doesn't really fit all that well. So this is, yes, it's time consuming, but that's why I get paid the huge bucks. Okay. So now you change these all to pre-effects. Just same on this one. So may as well get it over with, right? Oh, did I do that wrong? Okay, so I'm doing these a little bit different. Actually, let me leave that there. Let me do these ones. You can do this in the routing window too. You don't have to do it this way, but this is actually, I like doing the drag and drop thing. Usually I don't for most things, but just the fact that Justin made that drawing of the 1/4-inch connector. Here, let me show you again. So when I grab this, see it? Oops. See how it turns into like a 1/4-inch, a TRS plug, or it's actually supposed to be a TT. So okay, and make all these pre-effects. Now normally I would do these post effects pre-fader, but in this case we're not really doing anything on here. It's gonna be a mute envelope on this, and I may have to put the little blipper track underneath here. I may as well do it now. So let me put another track. And this is going to be a subfolder track. It's going to be a child track of this thing. And I'm just going to put those Lindrum samples, snare sample in to fire the trigger in case this thing doesn't want to trigger. I don't know who ended up first calling that thing a blipper, but it works. So make one for the second tom. Now this is all contingent on them coming in and putting down good guitar parts and good good vocals, right? Which may or may not happen. Probably will.
Hey, I got my guitar, my bass hooked up right now, and guitar hooked up in a second. If you need some.
Let's hear it. You got? Does it actually play something? Is that camera mirrored or is that a left-handed bass?
It's camera. It's a normal.
Oh, okay.
It's a normal bass. It's backwards on camera. I don't know why.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
No. I still hear your sample rate mismatch though.
Yeah. Let me fix that.
Okay. So I should probably go through these tracks and just hand mute the treble stuff because it's going to be some serious trouble. I'm going to start with the 1985. I just want to hear what that is. I can't remember if there's actually a good 1985 tom. You know, this is why people always ask, why you spend so much time miking the drums if you're going to end up putting samples on them or whatever. Because I don't always. It really depends. It tends to be that the faster bands, you end up doing a lot more samples because it's not going to be all that clean when they play it at that speed. But if they're hitting them, don't worry. I don't have to use these samples at all. So let's find these 1985s toms. Okay, so they got 3 toms. That probably means I should use 2, 3, and 5, but let's just hear real quick. I'm hearing a reverb from something that I probably shouldn't be. Dry and natural sound the same, so this seems wrong here. What's going on? Let's try a second one. Tom 3 sounds pretty low already. Let's try Tom 5. Oh, that sounds good too. Shoot. Man, I don't know what tones to use. I mean, it's weird because if you mix these together wrong, it's going to sound pretty gross. I think I'm going to do 2, 3, and 4. So 2, dry, natural, big, could really probably just use this big tom. Let's see. That sounds bad. I should probably go through this track and just hand mute whatever's not toms right now before I do anything else. So let me pull the 3 real toms together. Okay, so I'm going to solo these 3. And I'm going to... Anything that's not really a tom, I'm just going to use. I think you're beeping. And this is going to use that macro. Okay. Oh. Now that rest of this shouldn't have muted though. That's a problem. I wonder why that happened. Something funny's going on. Hopefully this doesn't keep happening. It's giving me an extra point for some reason. Not really sure what's going on. Okay, let me see if that third tom ever gets hit in this song. It doesn't. Oh boy. I don't think. Let me check real for sure. I don't think he ever hits that third tom. Oh shoot. Well, that's a bummer. We got 2 toms here. Okay, well, I'm gonna mute that one, at least for now. All right, let's see if let's see. What is that? What do you got there? I'm really not sure what he's playing here. This looks like he's hitting more toms, but I hope not. I really should just be putting these in by hand, I think. Let me see if this mute envelope keeps messing up. That was unfortunate. Oh man, why is that messing up? That is not good. Something really bad is going on here. Let's see why. I think it's going wrong with X-Ray M's script. I don't know why. Everything was working fine. Really just need a way to drop those, drop the point value right there. Is there a toggle mute? Let me just see. Mute. Toggle mute for the track. I don't want to toggle mute for the track. Toggle mute. Envelope. Active or visible. Set mute. No. Toggle mute for last touch track. That's probably going to happen to the... Which one on the envelope? Envelope. Mute automation items. Toggle take mute envelope. Let's see what happens here. So I'm gonna, is there a way to, uh-oh. Well, I don't want to mess this up, but I think this is what's messing up here. Oh, I definitely don't want that. Okay. Hold on. Toggle take mute envelope. But this was just working. I'm not sure. No, it's not going to work. Never mind. Hold on. Let me just check what's going on here. See, that's working fine. What's the problem when I do it in there? That's working fine. What is the problem? Why would I get another extra envelope point there? So what if I do it here? Yeah, see, that's messing up. What? What is messing that up? Oh boy. That's working fine. What in the world is going on here? Now it's working fine. I have no idea. Sounds like a bug that we got to deal with. Yeah, I'm really probably just going to place these by hand. I don't really trust that's going to pick up very well from the trigger. And even if it does play in the wrong place, right place, it may not do anything pleasant. Maybe something we just place by hand no matter what. But let's see. Oh, and I really screwed up because it's the wrong one. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I blew that. Let me see if I can lock items to events, I'm actually gonna be okay. Let's try it. Oh yeah, okay. You see what I did? That was dumb. There we go. Okay. So I do the same thing for Tom 2. So that was what I was supposed to bring together, was these Tom tracks. The trigger tracks, not the original tracks. Okay. Mute these. Yes, yeah, it's just awful. I really think I'm placing these in by hand. You see what's happening with the snare, because that's going to make a big difference too. Okay. So you get to eighth notes. Take a look at these. Don't need this envelope. Clear that envelope. I might not use... Wait, what just happened to all my mutes? Oh my God. Well, that's unfortunate. All right, so I don't know if you saw that, but it like ditched all my mutes. So I might not even use these tracks at all. For now I'm just gonna mute them. I really think I'm gonna have to put these in by hand. So let me just do that real quick. Media. Oh, wait a second. Item volume. Envelope mute. Okay. I have no idea why the mutes disappeared. That was uncool. So Media Explorer. Just gonna copy this guy. Let's just think about where this is going to end up. I'm going to assume we're talking 16th notes. I mean, it could be 8th notes. See, this is why I'm interpreting again. I don't want to do this. This is not a good thing. Tom 1, 1985. Tom 2, 1985. Let's get that on there. Trigger. Browser. This is going to be Tom 3. Dry, natural, big, EMS1, EMS2. And then I'm probably just going to use the big sound for now. I'll fine tune that in a second. Okay, what are we hearing? Might just be bleeding out on too many other tracks to... I mean, I could go and start stretching these things, right? I really do not want to do that. Boy. Let me mute these two and see what I'm still getting. Okay, actually, the bleed is not too bad. This is entirely up to figuring out what in the world we played here. See, are these 16th notes? This is really bad. Like, this is from a bunch of different takes, but this is how it ends up many times. I'm gonna think that these are all moved forward ahead in time to the 4. So let me make these 16th notes. Again, this may not end up all that pleasant, but it should be better than it is right now. It's got 2 hits here. This guy's going to go forward. This one's going to start on the 4. I don't know if there's another hit. Really hard to hear what's going on here. That's right. Guess I got Tom 2 correct. It's Tom 1. Well, that's a snare right there. So there's only 2 hits. Okay. Man, that sounds hokey, doesn't it? So let's get the CLA toms on here real quick. Trigger. Again, I'm going to try a 12, 14, 16. Actually, let me try the 10. Might be too small. Try 12. Actually, 12 is pretty good. Okay. 12. And we get a 14 for the other one. Using a lot of tracks to trigger here. See, this is right-ish, but it doesn't sound good. About so really I should move these forward. Okay, wait a second. This is supposed to be muted. Okay, sorry. Now some things are making some more sense now. Let's see how this sounds. Okay. That's muted. How is it getting a trigger? So this is always going to be troubleshooting. Somehow this guy's getting through. This should be muted. Why is this not muted? Ah, okay. I think this has to do with where the send is. Is the mute after the fader? That would suck. Oh boy. Hold on. Let me just try that real quick. I'm going to move this to pre-fader post-effect. Okay, I'm going to move this to post-fader. And if I were to turn this up, so that's post-fader. Oh boy, I'm messing up here. Is there a... So the mute is in the wrong place for the send. That's the problem. Okay. How can I do this? I need the mute to mute the send. That's why I was doing the pre effects volume instead of the mute. Oh boy. Is there any reason not to do this? I mean, I can leave the volume up, and that's fine. Do it that way. So many ways to skin this cat. Sorry about that. So if I do pre effects envelopes or the item envelope itself, item volume envelope, this would actually work fine. Right now, what's happening is the mute is after the effects send, so it's sending no matter what, whether or not the track is muted or not. Now, the reason I don't want the volume up is it's going to send to the master. But I can actually just take it out of the master. Here, let me see. Try this real quick. Okay, I still got to put this mic on this. Okay, so if I do post fader sends, this mute will work. I don't know if I even care if the mute works, but for now, let's just leave that be. Okay, so that means that I'm probably messing up on this kick up here. Where's the kick? Kick where I think I'm muting these parts right here, but I'm really not. I could just slice it out of there right now to really make it easier, but what I should really be doing is take it out of the master send and change these all to post fader, post effects, everything. Okay, so now this should actually clean up these kicks a little bit. Oh, now we got no kick. Okay. Okay, but then I can't send this. Okay. So this is the conundrum. I really want to send this to here, but I can just take this out of the folder track and send this to the same place. Then do I care? Okay. So this guy, it's not going to go to the master either, but it's going to go to all the kick things. So it's going to go to the kick CLA, and it's going to go post fader, post pan is fine. Kick 1985, kick Dr. Bob, kick Dr. Bob. Okay. Okay, why is that happening? Seems like this is triggering a little bit too easy. I might have had a different level going in. Let's just try that real quick. I don't know what that is. I'll fight that in a second. So let me loop this section. Whenever you're making templates, you got to think about all these little outside cases and see, now I'm dealing with this. So let's make sure this isn't too loud now. So this could really be a lot better. I don't want to leave these so I can do mute envelopes, so I don't have to, in case I have to move things, I'm not wrecking anything, but this routing is really driving me kind of nuts. So if this... So these shouldn't be going to the master. Well, this one is. Get rid of that. Okay, so this isn't working because of that mute envelope. Oh, you know what I can do? Okay, this is okay. That one's gonna get the envelope. So I'm gonna call this one. No. Okay. Hold on. So this is gonna be a Tom 1 trigger send. I'm gonna move this guy down here with the envelopes. Now this has got the proper routing. But if I mute this track, it's not going to hurt the trigger at all, right? That's how to do it. See, I'm messing everything up. Okay, there we go. So this is how we're going to do it. Okay, so check this out. Now here we're getting all slick and trick. All right. Clear that envelope. Okay, so this guy right here is going to the it's going to all the trigger sends. Here's the audio from it. I can use the mute envelope on it, and when I mute it, it won't go out to the it's not getting out to the trigger send there, right? Because it's muted. If it was unmuted, watch. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So now when it's muted, it's not going to get out to that trigger send. But the blipper will still do that. Now this guy's not going to the master, so we don't have to worry about the audio getting out. So that's how you do that. Okay, so I'm going to make this into a template for that. To audio. Move that down. Clear this mute envelope. Let me tell this teacher real quick. Hey, Basil, your 2 o'clock's going to be a little bit late. Basil? You hear me? Your 2 o'clock's going to be a little bit late. All right, well, that's how you do it. So I'm gonna remake this template for that in a second here. Super thrilled about this Tom fill. I know I keep saying that, but I wonder if I can't make something. Pull the 1985 one real quick. I really don't think this is where that Tom goes, is on the 16th note, but put it there. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's put it on the 4 and see what happens. see where those snares are. The snare flam here, snare here, snare flam there. So I want to make sure I'm clear of that when I do these toms. So I'm going to assume this is ahead of time. Snare here, snare here. Well, I'm going to assume, again, I'm interpreting. super thrilled with sounds exactly, but tom parts so many times just make crazy problems for records. Like it's really hard to get them to sound good. You gotta usually when you hear really good sounding ones, they're played super slow. Way too much reverb. Do the natural one. Very tempted to put in that Dr. Bob one with that hard snap. It's just gonna be the reverb one now. we can do.
This cable just broke. Fixable or toss?
Oh, it's just an end.
So just like put it back on,
Uh,
or does it need more love than that?
maybe for that. Oh, I think this is. Okay.
Oh,
No, it's good.
it's back to.
Yeah, I gotta put a new end on it.
Okay. Shall I leave it
Yeah, just leave it here.
somewhere in here? Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, this is gonna take more fixing than